Hey y'all, welcome to Sweet Tea and Butterflies. We are at the Just Our Imagination Challenge again. It's that time of the month. We have our guest host is Craft Crumbs, and then of course our usual hosts, Kathy Joe DIYs and Rustic and Lace DIY. So let's get started with the projects. DIY number 1. Now we have 3 items that we must use. One is the hanging basket, another is party hats, and the third is a book page. So this particular project, I'm going to use 2 of the items in. Now, this was not an easy, I thought it would be easy when it came to mind, but this project was not easy. So I opened up the party hat and attempted to trace out on the on the party hat the slats, I guess you would call it, in the hanging basket. So yeah, it was not an easy task, and I don't know if it was just me or if it was just not an easy task, and it didn't. Oh, pardon me. It certainly did not help any that the party hat kept wanting to curl back up to its shape. So, anywho, I am working on trying to trace that out, and sorry, I needed a drink. So, basically, the party hats I got came with 4 in the package. I used 3 of them, and just tried to cut it to the size of each of the little slat things, so to speak. And as you can see, I'm struggling here, fighting with it, trying to curl back up into its original shape. So, anywho, I would like to take this moment while you're watching me fight with this hat to say thank you to all of my current subscribers. Y'all watch my videos when they come out, and keep things going. I appreciate you. It means the world to me. And for all of those that are new and coming over from the playlist, I invite you to subscribe if you like what you see, and just keep on following so that you get notified when I upload new content. Okay, so back to the crafting. I decided I was going to use 2 of these. I was going to use some of the Dollar Tree flexible chopping mats for the other slats in the hanging basket. I'm having a difficulty today, can you tell? So anyway, as I was doing this, I did find that there is one, these are pretty evenly spaced, except for one, and that's where it's welded together, and that slat is a little bit wider than all the others. So if you try to recreate this, just take note of that. I did happen to notice that it looked like it was bigger, so I traced that one out individually and made sure that I had a bigger piece to fit in there. I'm not going to make you watch me trace and cut all of these, but tracing and cutting them was not the only struggle. I'm telling you. Oh, pardon me. Why is it every time lately when I get on here to do a voiceover, I start yawning? I was not yawning before I hit record on this. I don't know what the deal is. Okay, so I'm telling you that I'm cutting those, to go around. Now, I started out with having already put a couple of them on there. Now, this was a struggle bus too. I thought I had some of the Dollar Tree cement glue or whatever it is, but it was all gummed up. So the only thing I had was the Dollar Tree wood glue because hot glue doesn't stick to metal, which when I put the first piece on there, I did a combination of hot glue and this, and the hot glue kept coming off of the thing where I glued it, and I'm like, well, you should have gone in there and roughed it up a little bit. So I did that the rest of the way around, but not on the first one. So what I did was I'd put a little bit of the wood glue and a little bit of the hot glue, a little bit of the wood glue, and I used a whole bunch of these clips to hold everything in place. I don't make you watch me do all of this because it truly did take me a long time. I mean, a long time. I would fight for a good 10 minutes with just one of the pieces to get it where I needed it and try it. Yeah. So, if you plan on trying to recreate this, it's a really cool project. So, I mean, if you want to try to recreate it, make sure you have the right glue. Use, like a super glue or, epoxy glue, E6000, something like that, along with the hot glue. So here it is after I've got all the things done. And as you can see, I've used 3 of the party hat ones and then 2, 4, 6. Oh, I had to actually count that. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? Of the cutting mats. So because it was so choppy looking from where I cut it, I chose to add like a little lace trim on there. I know a lot of you have asked me where Smokey's been, and she actually decided she was going to curl up and make an appearance this time. She has totally obliterated her collar. She likes to sit there and scratch, and then she'll try to lick and get her tongue stuck in. It's a mess. But anyway, she decided I was having such a hard time that she needed to supervise me with this one. Not that she helped at all. She just sat there and supervised. But anyway, I put a thing of lace trim around just to kind of cover up how choppy it looked from where I had to try to cut. Because I cut those after I'd put them on. So it was really choppy looking. Not my most quality work. The idea is pretty cool, but implementing it was a challenge. I don't think the challenge item was as much a challenge as how I used it. And honestly, and I went and got, when I bought the stuff, I bought a solar light. I had kind of thought about doing, when we heard the hanging basket, I was already kind of thinking this idea as far as, putting a solar light in there, but I had a whole different concept in my brain. And then, I picked up the party hats. I already had the chopping mats. And I woke up one morning having dreamed of this. So I was like, okay, that's a sign. Anyway, here it is hanging on a tree outside in the daylight. Now, this one is hanging. These lights have 2 different settings where you can do like the regular light or you can do a color changing. I'll show you at the final reveal, you'll see both the color changing and the other. So now here is having to use a book page. Now, I don't know if they actually wanted me to use a book page that I tore out of a book, but I decided I was going to use this because it had a twofold purpose. And as you can see, my glue stick was dried up. So this video is a hot mess of working with what I have. And yeah. So I decided that I was going to start like a junk journal type thing. I don't have easy access to all of my paper crafting things. Not for the condition I'm in at the moment. I've got some weird stuff going on with my hips. And walking is very painful. Trying to stoop down to pick something up or whatever is excruciating and whatnot. So anyway, this ended up as a twofold thing because it's a crossword puzzle, and I decided that doing the crossword puzzles would also help enhance brain function, which has been affected at least a little bit by the chemotherapy. So it's got a twofold purpose. I can do the crossword puzzle, and then I can turn around and do paper crafting with a junk journal type thing. So I knew I did not have time to do the cover and all of that in this video, but I did want to. But I have to use a book page, not the cover. So I decided I was going to go ahead and start out with this one. This has been probably the most prevalent thing in my life since October of last year. So I decided that I was going to do like a junk journal page with that. So I looked up the stuff, some printables and whatnot, and darn it, I did it again. I looked up some printables and whatnot, and printed them out with the, hold on a minute, yeah. Boss is texting me because, again, I forgot to send my time so that she could pay me. Anywho, yeah, I'm gonna pause right here for a minute and go do that real quick because, well, yeah, that was a stupid move on my part. I need to get paid, right? I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that interruption, but yeah. I decided to look up some images, graphics, whatever that would that kind of fit what I was doing, and I cut those out, printed those out, cut them out. I pulled out the clay and some of my new molds. I'm still kind of trying to get the hang of the molds and whatnot. So that one was a little challenging to get out of the mold, but I got it out of the mold. And then I decided I wanted to try to do like a 3D awareness ribbon. So I used the clay to do that, and set it aside to dry a little bit. All in all, I made several different molds, and I used the air dry clay, so that might have been part of it too. Like the little frames and stuff like that probably should be used with a different type of clay that that isn't as stretchy. Might make it easier to pull it out without disfiguring the thing. It turned out okay. I mean, this is a junk journal, this is kind of for me. So if it's not perfect, that's okay, because Lord knows I am anything but. Yeah, he did not, the good Lord did not create me to be perfect, and I am not. So here's where I was like, I started to cut out that one, and I'm like, wait a minute, they don't need to watch me cut all these out. So, and then here's where I decided that I wanted to, I hadn't made up my mind about doing this mold at the beginning like I had the other. So I got this one out and was working on it and put some cornstarch in there. These were a little more difficult as well because they were deeper. So I had a harder time getting the cornstarch down in there to keep everything from sticking. So the first time I popped them out, they didn't come out very well. I had to kind of redo, but I did get them done. But yeah, these are just, it's a rose mold. And the funny thing is, some of these I did get for clay, but like the rose one and stuff, I got that for my candles because I want to start doing some fancier candles and using some more embeds and whatnot in those. But seeing as the candles require standing at the stove and all of that, and right now my body is saying, no you don't. No. I went through chemo and radiation like a breeze. I had no issues. I didn't get sick, didn't lose my hair, didn't have, hardly any side effects. I went through it like a breeze. In fact, I started feeling better than I had in years. And now life is like, you didn't think you were going to get off that easy, did you? So yeah, now life is kind of, saying, okay, you're not getting away scot-free. We're gonna get you after the treatments. We're gonna get you now. So I'm working it. I'm trying to determine and live with my new normal. Now, pain in the hips and whatnot, we're working on getting that checked out. Because the radiation can weaken the bones and make them more susceptible to stress fractures. So we're working on getting that checked out. I'm probably going to end up, they're trying to move up my PET scan. It's currently scheduled for the 21st, but they're trying to move it up. If not, I imagine they'll probably send me for at least an x-ray to make sure that I don't have any stress fractures in there. But for right now, I'm just taking it easy and working with what I can easily get, or that I can easily get to, I should say. So that's where we're at. And that's okay. I'm crafting, I'm doing my thing, and, I'm challenging myself even a little more because I'm having to work with stuff that that I can easily get to, knowing that I probably have something that'll work better, but I just can't get to it easily. It's okay. So I took, and with the roses, I combined these two and used the light pink. I combined those two colors for a darker pink and painted the roses with that, and then dry brushed with the lighter pink, and then I used the aqua flash on the awareness ribbon. And now you get to see what I do with them all. Now I realize that, and see, butterflies are very prevalent for me and the women in my family. So the awareness ribbon with the butterfly wings, that spoke to me, obviously. But I know you see a lot of junk journal pages that have a lot more stuff on them. And this one doesn't have a whole lot of stuff on it. I'm just kind of starting out, but I also wanted to leave plenty of room to write or add something that I've written as I go through the journey. And I didn't think about, I did do some writing on this, and I didn't think about the fact that I probably could have done some other, paper, different things, to make it stand out more when I did it. But I have other steps and whatnot that I still have to go through. My PET scan, then I'll have to go every 3 months for a checkup, make sure that I'm clear. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I have to go every 3 months for a PET scan. I'm not certain on that, but they like to keep an eye on us and make sure that nothing is, growing back, recurring, or that, it hasn't popped up new somewhere else. So there's plenty of writing left to be done in here. But I, basically wrote down the primary, of when I went to the doctor, and we kind of knew then, but nobody was saying it because it wasn't confirmed. I wrote down that date and, whatnot. I wrote down the when I ended my treatment, or, completed my treatments. I wrote down something else too. I'll have to look at it again. I forgot now. But I wrote down, a couple things in there, and I'll continue updating that as the different steps in this journey go. So now I'm gluing down. As you see, I put the awareness ribbon with roses. Both of the top ones are, but I put the smaller one in the little frame, and then I put the other one up there. I didn't completely fussy cut around the other one. And now I'm using 2 of the roses and the clay awareness ribbon there. And I'm pulling out my cute little butterfly pin that has all kinds of colors. It's got one of those color switcher thingies, like our teachers used to have, that had like the 4 colors on it, but they mostly use the red to grade art. Yeah. This one has all kinds of colors on it. So, like I said, I just, got in here and wrote down the different, I guess, milestone type things, I found out about it October 17th, 2025. I completed my treatments in February of 26. And now I'm waiting for my MRI that's scheduled on the 21st. So, or at least I thought I wrote more in there. I guess not. I guess I only put but anyway, I'll update it as I go. If you feel led to buy me a coffee, it would be appreciated, but it's not absolutely necessary. I have ended up with hours cut back significantly, so it would definitely help. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, all the fun things. It helps my channel grow. Now here I am showing you the little lampshade hanging again, and here's with just plain clear light, and then I switch it out to the color changing light and show you that one. There we go. And the funny thing is, I thought I was recording when I switched the light, and I wasn't. So I stood there for quite a bit, just, watching the color change, thinking I was recording it, and I wasn't. I do that way too often. Thanks y'all for watching. Have a great evening.